All right, so today's lunch bunch is to give you a little more information. Well, the first one's a reminder because for a long time now, we've been able to access the Overdrive Libby collection, Great Lakes Digital Libraries, from Enterprise. But I think sometimes people forget about that. So I just I'll first give a reminder of that and how that looks. And then we'll move on to show there's records for some of the eResource collection in MEL that we can find and discover in the Enterprise catalog. So I'll show you that. We've got 14,000 some records that kind of connect into EBSCO's ebook collection, which is much greater. But I don't know, I've done some changes and it's just kind of cool to see that too. And then the third one is brand new MARC records that I found for the Learning Express eResource in MEL. And that is, I think, probably the coolest thing. So I saved that for last. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, can't do that. Minimize. And then I've got Peter White's webpage up here. We'll just use them since I'm a patron there. And of course, I resurrected my poor dearly departed dog, so she'll be doing some different stuff as a patron here. So the first thing that we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to go ahead and kind of show you how we can access those Overdrive records from here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search for the book American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I'm never sure how to pronounce his name. And let's see what comes up. So here I've got the first hit that I get is in Libby. It's the audiobook, and it gives me some information. It tells me, it knows, it's smart enough to know that there are no copies available right now, but it will let me place a hold if I want to. And if I'm not sure that I want to, I can preview this. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear, but I'll just click on that and show you how it looks. So basically the preview options are to pull up my Windows Media Player or download something. That sounds kind of, like it might take some time. So the most immediate thing that I usually do is I pick and just have it kind of stream through my browser. So I'm going to go ahead and preview this to see if I want to place a hold. Can you guys hear that? Maybe? Nope, you can't? Okay. Let me see if I can make it so you can hear it. Let's see. Somebody's chatting to me.
It was just delayed. I heard it.
Oh, it was delayed? Okay. Let's try now.
Production of American Gods, the 10th anniversary edition.
So, okay, we'll pretend that that was enough to make me really, really want to place a hold on this. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. And for some reason, when you preview an ebook, it opens in a different tab. But when you preview an audiobook, it opens in the same tab and you have to hit back. So that's a little bit confusing. And I'm not sure. I'll have to look and see if that's something on our end. I kind of have a feeling it's just a strange Enterprise thing, maybe. So I'm going to say that I really want this, and I'm going to go ahead and place a hold on it. And I'll just put in my library barcode number and my PIN. And it gives me a chance here. It says, okay, we're confirming that you want the ebook, the e-audiobook of American Gods. And if my email address, if I have a different email address I want to use, or if that one's incorrect, I can edit this here if I need to. And then I'll just go ahead and place a hold. So what that has done is it saved me. So now, like, I could keep going. I could place holds on other things, go find stuff at the Peter White Library, whatever. But what it's done is it's saved me the step of having to go over to the separate website, the Libby site, and search there for American Gods. And just to make sure that it did what it said it did, I can sign into my account. Why are there so many libraries here? I bet if I had attended Jeremy's thing, I would know why.
Finally putting us 3 games. She wanted to know what I found out. Just finding them 3M. Very good on the picture.
Okay, so I'm logging into my account or logging in, and I want to look at my holds. And you see there that it worked. Hopefully you can see my screen. Yeah. So that's kind of nice. All right. The other thing I want to show you that I think people forget is that if I go over to my account in Enterprise now, and I look at my holds there, it defaults to show me holds that I have on like a physical book. So you see here, there's a hold on that Invisible book by Danielle Steele. But then if I click on this digital holds up here, I can see my digital holds here. I can see that I've got that American Gods audiobook on hold and it's pending. And if I change my mind, I can even go here and I can cancel the hold. And again, that would then our enterprise system would talk to Overdrive and the hold would be removed there too. So just it's kind of a convenience thing. And, I think it's kind of nice and something that you might want to make your patrons aware of as you're helping them or doing whatever. So now let's see what I have down here. Okay, let's try a regular ebook now. One that's available and not checked out. So now I do a search for The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks is what I was looking for, but I was lazy, so I just typed Immortal Life. And I see here, this is a little different because there is a copy available. I don't have to place a hold this time. And it tells me all the different formats. I could, it's HTML, it's available as a Adobe EPUB, or I can use it on my Kindle. So all that's terrific. And I know I want this, so I'm not going to preview it this time. And I'm just going to go ahead and instead of saying place hold, it's just got a download option here. And I'm already logged in to my account in Enterprise, so it's not asking me to log in again. It remembers I'm logged in, it knows who I am, or my dog is, and it's just going to let me go ahead and, take care of, download the book or look at the book. So I don't know if you remember, I kind of wish this almost wasn't here anymore, this first option that it's defaulting to. And maybe that's something I can edit or change, or Jeremy and I can look at. The Adobe Digital Editions used to be this other separate program that you would have to have your patrons download. And then you would download the ebook, you would find where you saved it on your computer, and you would open it up in this Adobe Digital Editions. But now you really don't have to do that. So for me, and what I would recommend to my patrons is that they just go ahead, if they want to start reading, right in their tablet or whatever device they're using to access the catalog and look at this, I would just go ahead and pick the second option where you open the book up right in the browser and start looking at it. Or of course, if you are using a Kindle, then they could pick that third option. The first option I really think is somewhat obsolete now. So like I said, I'll see if we can get rid of that as even an option. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check it out. And I'm going to wait somewhat patiently, but not real patiently. Don't know why it's taking so long. Okay, it says it's going to redirect us to another tab where it'll show us the book. And again, it's giving me some different options. I didn't remember that it was going to do this. So I could download the EPUB book, which is much, much, much better than Adobe Digital Editions. Like I said, we don't even want that as an option on there, and I'll try to get rid of it. Or I can read now in the browser or read now with Kindle. So I'm going to read now in the browser, just so I can show you. And I just start clicking. And there's a lot of stuff before it starts. And I don't know why I think there's some different things you can do to change the formatting of this, but it's giving me, I've got really big font on my computer, but it's just giving me like the effect of having like an open book where there would be the 2 pages. And you'll just have to trust me. Oh, here we go. There's the cover page, copyright. Then we're getting into the table of contents. The table of contents are smart enough that you can click on a particular chapter and it'll take you right there. And then I believe there are some, no, that's not what I want. It might be that my controls are covering up some of the other options. There we go. If I click in the middle of the book, it also gives me some different options to navigate around. And it shows me where I am right now, and I can kind of click and drag. Like if I decided I didn't really want to go that far, I can sort of click and drag to where I need to be in the book. So that's all great. Hopefully you're liking this. And I'm just going to go ahead. That's a different tab. I could leave it open, or I can just click back to Enterprise now. And again, you know, if I go over to my Great Lakes Digital Library holds, I just need to kind of refresh that, or loans now. Go to my account, go to loans. I see that that's in my loans over here. It was the same screen that it redirected me to, but I didn't have to navigate there on my own. And also, if I look at my account in Enterprise, and I look at my checkouts, it's the same deal as it was with the holds, where, you know, my dog is reading Peanut Butter and You right now. That's the physical book from the library. And in the digital checkouts, I see there the ebook. And again, I have the same thing where I could cancel the hold here, I could return the item if I'm done with it. Okay. I'll unshare my screen for a second here. I see some chats. You guys heard it. That's great. Okay, let me stop sharing for a second. And there were some questions. If somebody wants to ask a question, or should I just go back to the chat? I'm not sure I really understood. Okay, Linda said, can you get to the last place where you were by not searching? Oh, in the book? Yes. That's a good question. Let's see. Let's go back. I think we can get like to the table of contents. I don't know if that's what you mean. And I think when you're not in the browser, there are easier navigation methods. I usually, when I'm using Libby myself, I usually am on a tablet. And so I'm used to the navigation there. Okay, so do you see these darker like markers? I think those are the beginning of sections. So like I clicked there and it took me to the copyright information. And then if I click the next one, it takes me to the cover page. And then pretty quick, I'm at the table of contents where you can just go ahead and click on the chapters if you want. Does that help? A little bit? Oh, I don't think I was sharing my screen, was I? Let me share my screen again and I'll show you what I was meaning. Okay, so back to the book. Click in the middle of the page if you're on your browser. These were the lines I was talking about, these bars that are darker. They're like different sections, I believe. Maybe I'm lying now. Let's see. Oh, that's the end of a chapter. And now we're on part 1. So if you wanted to get back to like the table of contents, you could go to one of the first or second marker, and you'd be pretty close to the beginning of the book. In this case, I think it's the third marker that gets us to the title page, because there's that huge section with all of the people going on and on about how wonderful her book is. Does that help a little bit? Let's see. Oh yeah, the bookmarking. Did Jeremy answer your question? The hand symbol at the bottom left and the fingerprint symbol at the bottom right. Is that how you bookmark? Let's see. Bottom left. Jeremy, do you want to chime in if you can? Or maybe you don't have a mic right now. So I'm not sure how you book. I don't know that you can bookmark in the web browser, because it's a web browser, but if you download the EPUB, which is what most people do on their tablets, there is the option to bookmark. In your tablet, you just click in the upper right, and a little blue bookmark comes down, and you can toggle it on and off. Okay, sounds good. Let's see. So I think that's all I had to show you guys about Enterprise and the way that it integrates with Overdrive. Any other questions about that?
Sean, this is Blair from
Sure.
Skis.
Hey.
I missed the first minute. Can you tell me how to first access Enterprise or what it refers to?
Sure. So Enterprise is just the name of the product that is our online catalog. So like when
Okay.
you go to your online catalog and you're just doing
Sure.
a search for like things that you would find in the library,
Okay.
yeah, then they just pop up. So saying this, if I do this search, then you see that I am getting, oh, and don't forget, I'll talk about these a little more, the format facets at the side. So I see here that there's books, and I had to click more to see everything. It says online resources, large print, book on CD, Blu-ray, and so on. So you kind of see that you're getting a mix of physical and online resources. And that's just the default that we have. We have a product called eResource Central, and it allows us to link in with Overdrive. And also, I know a lot of you are getting Canopy. There is a product. It's not eResource Central, but they have some different integration that we could buy for a one-time cost from Cersei that would allow the Canopy videos to appear with searches as well. So that's something that if you're interested in it, you could ask Dylan about it. And if there's enough interest, then we might buy that. It's just like a custom script or something that lets Canopy share information about what videos are currently available with Enterprise. Okay, this is funny. I changed my order of things, but I'm gonna do Learning Express last, I think. So next I'm gonna do Mel, eResources, the eBooks, and let me just close out of some of this stuff that I have. Okay, so you're all familiar with mel.org, and we have, you know, the Michigan E-Library, and they've changed things around. A few years ago, they did a usability study, and they found out that most people were just going right to Melcat. They wanted Melcat. So when you go to mel.org, you see the Melcat keyword search, and that's where they expect you're going to be. But there are still a lot of really great e-resources, and I don't know, I kind of wish that they had made them a little more prominent. I mean, personally, it's like you got these people, like, what are they doing? Couldn't they have like e-resources over here? But whatever. So anyway, I kind of feel like some of the e-resources are hidden now. I mean, maybe they weren't as popular, but now for sure, people are maybe gonna know less about them. So you click on e-resources and they have these 3 columns. They have public libraries, and they've pulled out 3 databases. K-12 schools, they pulled out 3 databases, and browse out e-resources, and they've pulled out 3. And you can get the list of all of them by clicking here. So the first one we're going to look at, I'll show you how we would get to it. One of the ways we would get to it is by saying browse all. And then if you click on the letter E, or you could scroll down, I suppose, the one that we have some records for in our database is this ebook full EBSCO collection. And we don't have that. What we have are 14,000 some records from an old product that Mel subscribed to called Net Library. And Net Library kind of that collection got folded into the EBSCO collection. So if you read about it, I mean, it's way more than 14,000. It's 200,000 plus titles. And it's got all this awesome stuff. It's got biographies, consumer health reference. It has business information. It has the ebook collection and so on. But what I think is nice that we can do, the whole reason I started remembering about those records was that a patron at the Drummond Island Library stumbled on one of them and had trouble figuring out how to access it. And so then I realized that, all those links were still good and that it would be a great way to make that collection or part of that collection more visible to people. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search for, what did I have here first? Oh, let's do, okay. I'm going to do jazz. Let's just do jazz and see what happens. So Peter White has quite a few results that you get when you type in jazz. It's got 1,372 results. That's a whole lot. Over here on the side, I'm going to look at those facets that I was mentioning. And, I'm not at the library. Let's say I'm at home and I just want to see what I can get to immediately. I see that there's 12 online resources. So I'm going to click there. And the first one that I get is The Complete Idiot's Guide to Jazz. And I'm kind of new to jazz, so that sounds pretty good to me. And I wish it was even more intuitive, but you see right at the fourth line, it says electronic access, and it says Mel ebook collection. So I can just click on that and it opens a new tab and it takes me right into Mel. And here's the description of it, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Jazz. Here's the author, subjects, all of that kind of stuff. And over here on the left is the full text. And I just click on that. And did you see, I think you saw, I should have pointed it out more. There was an option to download the book too. So you could download it if you wanted. And so here's the cover. And I'm going in. And when I get to the table of contents, let me go a little farther. It does a nice thing over here on the left-hand side. Okay, so here I am. That's great. Over here on the left-hand side, here I've got all of the table of contents in there. And it looks like I can download just a chapter if I want to. Or if I don't want to download it, I can just click on it and I can navigate right to that section. You can also search within. So I could type in a specific term or a jazz musician's name. You can create your own account in here. It's free. And that will let you add things to folders, save pages, take notes that will be there for you if you download the material again. Other things you can do in here that are really cool. Let's say you were doing a paper on jazz and you want to cite something. You can do a citation. You can print a certain range of pages if you want. I think if you get carried away and you print too many, it'll pop up like a thing saying you might be violating copyright, but it will let you print a good number before it does that. If you're a student and you have a Google Classroom account, you can click there or you go to your Google Drive. So you see there's like a ton of options and the full download option is still here. So if you just wanted to look at it a little bit to see if it was something that you wanted to download, you can do that and then really easily get to that option to do a full download. So there's that one. And I'll show you a couple other searches. So again, I'm going to pretend to be a student this time. And let's say I'm just looking for Cliff's Notes. So I could type in Cliff's Notes. Or is it Cliff Notes? I guess it's Cliff's Notes. And so here I've got a bunch of results. And there's a bunch of Cliff's Notes that I can get. So on the Bible, yes. So here's a Cliff's Notes, and this one's in the library over in the teen paperback section. I think there's one on Othello. Yep, that's pretty close. So here's Othello. Okay, maybe I want to look at this one and just click on Mel ebook collection again. And it gets me right there. It should get me right there. It's thinking. I know that this is a good link because I accessed it before we got together. Maybe I'll try it again. Because nothing could be wrong with just trying things repeatedly while it's still loading on the other tab. Oh, come on. All right, I'll come back to it. Let's see what else I was going to show you guys. I was going to show you that another thing that we do have records for that's kind of nice that teachers might like, or even homeschoolers. There are some science projects, science experiments and projects for younger ages that are contained in that old net library collection. So again, if I just want the online resources, I see that there's 43 of them. And I did click on that, it's refreshing, okay. So you see there's some good ones here that you might wanna tell people about if they're looking. And Othello popped up twice now. The other thing I wanted to show you here, I mean, we've talked about the detailed record and the table of contents and all that stuff. What my hope would be is that patrons might notice as they're accessing these records that it says up at the top that they are searching an ebook collection. And there's a search box here so they can search for other things. In the basic search is the easiest. They can search for other things in here, and then they would be searching that collection of the 200,000. So now, now they've got even more than that measly 14,000 records that we have. Now they're in the MEL database that's kind of hidden at this time. So that was all I wanted to show you about that. Any questions about that one? I'll stop my share for a minute. Or any questions about anything that I might be able to answer? Okay. All right, so the last thing, the last electronic resource that I wanted to show you, I'll share again, is how you would get to the Learning Express records.
Muted, but I'm in a class.
Okay, so let's see.
I didn't realize
Learning
that
Express
in
is one that I
there's
think-
eBooks that you can get through MEL.
Okay, so I think if I go to eResources, Learning Express, I think is one that they feature. Yep. So under all resources, they're thinking that that one's probably popular enough that they should kind of highlight it on this main page. And I'll just go there first so we can get a look at it. Oh, and I think there was a good description of it too. So if I go to see more, I'm remembering what I wanted to show you guys. I like that they have in this list more of a description of what each resource is. So Learning Express, it has a resume builder. You could save, edit, and print from there. There's over 700 courses, practice tests and tutorials and more, blah, blah, blah. You can get ready for the ACT, SAT, PSAT and whatever that is. So it's got a ton of stuff here. And the great news about this one is I was able to go to mel.org and download all of the MARC records for these. So we have like 1,600 records that'll point people to specific tests or resume builders or information in our enterprise catalog. And so let me go ahead and do a search for, oh, I've got a couple different examples. Let's do college preparation. Thought I had more than that, but anyway. Okay, well, that's not good. I don't know what happened to my search. Was it college prep? Let's see. Okay, so my search sucked apparently, but anyway, you can see that this is an SAT test that they have over in, oh, and this isn't even Learning Express. Okay, I don't know why I wrote that down. Let me do a better one. So let's try. See if this one looks better. Okay, job tutorial, I typed in, and I see over here under the facets, under author, there's the author is Learning Express for all of these hits, all of these results. So there's job offers and salary negotiation, interview with confidence, and then find your next job. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna look at find your next job. For electronic access for these, I just put connect to Learning Express resource. I thought maybe that would, get people keyed in on that and that they were going to go somewhere else. And it takes us right to Learning Express and where you would go ahead and you could take this tutorial. Patrons should register. It's free. They click on that and they pick a username and password. Or no, if they have a username and password, they put it in. If they're new, they click on register. And it kind of knows by your IP address, it tries to guess what your institution is. I'm not sure what it does if you're at home. Anyway, the patron doesn't really have to worry about that. They just go ahead, fill in this really short registration thing with their name, email, and a password, and then they're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and log in. See if I remember. Okay, I remember, yay. So once they log in, they'll be taken to the tutorial or to whatever. If it was just like an article or something, it wouldn't make you log in, but anything where you're going to take a practice test or there's something where there's input that you have to provide, it will make you log in. And there's a really good reason for that, because then you can go back and you can see how you did, you can take the test again. So really it is best if you do it that way. And it's kind of good that they insist that you don't do it as a guest, that you do it as your, as yourself, as an individual. And then it just takes you in. This is just an example of how one of these would work. There's different units. You can skip ahead to different units. Sometimes they will ask you, let me go to where I know that they're asking you things. It's unit 2. Sometimes they'll ask you to go ahead and input information. Why am I not doing anything? You can always save and finish later. Oh, here we go. That's why, because I was supposed to navigate over here. So then I can go to lesson 1. Trying to get to a place where you have to put things in. Okay, so then there'll be sections where it says, which of the following do you think are appropriate things to share on professional forum online? Then you can kind of fill in what you think. And then I don't know, I'm not even reading these. And then you can compare your response with what other people said. So anyway, let's see. I think that was pretty much all I was going to show you with Learning Express. Let me see if I can. If I type in Learning Express. This is pretty much, I think it might have picked up a few things that weren't Learning Express, but you see that it's pretty comparable to what I told you I loaded. So if you just wanted to browse what Learning Express has, you could go ahead and type that in the search box, and then you could kind of get a feel for what is in there. So I think that was it for me for today, from what I wanted to share. Anybody have any more questions or comments or anything like that? Super quiet. Hopefully you're all still awake.
Well, thanks, Sean.
You're welcome. I think it's kind of cool. So I hope that you got something useful out of it and maybe something that you can use. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, afternoon, whatever. Bye.